Hey there and welcome. Let's be real for a second. Have you ever opened up your cloud bill from AWS or Azure or GCP and just your jaw hits the floor? That feeling of shock? Yeah, if that sounds familiar, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're going to dive into how you can turn that complete chaos into crystal clarity. We're going to build a real actionable roadmap for your multi-cloud FinOps journey together.
So let me just ask you this straight up. Your multi-cloud bills, do they feel like a total black box? You see the money going out, and you know the services are running. But trying to connect those dots, it feels impossible, right? For so many of us, for architects, for finance managers, this is the reality, month after month.
All right, so here's our game plan for today. We're going to start by navigating that crazy multi-cloud cost maze. Then we'll find our guiding light, which is FinOps. After that, we'll chart our own roadmap, figure out the journey to maturity, look at the pillars that hold it all up, and finally reach that strategic summit.
Okay, first things first, the multi-cloud cost maze. And yeah, this is exactly what it sounds like, that feeling of being completely lost, with costs that are just unpredictable and always going up.
This is what I call the fog of war of cloud costs. You know the drill. Surprise bills land on your desk, and nobody has a clue where they came from. You ask, hey, who spun up this massive GPU cluster? And all you get back are blank stares. There's zero accountability. And what does that lead to? Total strategic chaos. You can't plan, you can't invest in cool new projects with any confidence, because you have no idea what you're actually spending. It's just this incredibly frustrating reactive cycle.
So how in the world do we get out of this maze? Well, you need a compass, right? A guiding star. And for us in the cloud world, that star has a name, FinOps. And let's be super clear here. This is not some tool you can just go out and buy. It's a cultural shift, a completely different way of operating.
So here's the absolute heart of it. FinOps is all about culture. And the magic word is collaboration. Seriously, it's about tearing down the walls between your engineering, finance, and tech teams. Getting them out of their silos, sitting in the same room or, the same Zoom call, looking at the same data and making smart, data-driven decisions about money that actually push the business forward.
Okay, let's get practical. To figure out where you're going, you first have to know where you are right now. It's like that little red dot on the mall map that says you are here. We need to do an honest gut check on our current capabilities. All right, take a look at this. This is your chance to do a quick self-diagnosis. Let's just walk through it together. Look at the rows: tagging, allocation, forecasting, optimization. Now think about your own company. For tagging, for example, are you kind of in that level 1 tactical zone where it's just a mess, ad hoc, inconsistent? Or maybe you're at level 2, operational, with some actual policies in place. The dream, of course, is level 3, strategic, where it's all automated. So just take a second. For each of these, where do you think you land? Be honest. Because this assessment, that's your starting line.
See, once you know where you're starting from, the path forward gets a whole lot clearer. And that path, that journey, it really breaks down into 3 main phases.
And it all builds on itself, which is the great part. Step 1 is the tactical phase. This is all about just getting a handle on things. Basic visibility and control. Stop the bleeding, Then you move into the operational phase. This is where you start driving real efficiency and getting those teams to actually talk to each other. And finally, you hit the strategic phase. This is the goal, where every single dollar you spend in the cloud is directly connected to some business value.
So the big question is, how do you actually move through those phases? Well, you do it by building up and mastering 4 key pillars. And hey, these should look familiar. They're the exact same capabilities we just looked at in that self-assessment matrix.
All right, pillar number 1, and this is the absolute foundation of everything: cost tagging. Honestly, think of tags as the DNA of your cloud resources. Without good tagging, you literally can't tell the difference between a mission-critical system and some expensive experiments someone forgot to turn off. It's more than just labels. It's about building that single source of truth. Nothing else works without this. And the difference between doing this badly and doing it well is, it's night and day. The immature state, it's like a giant, messy warehouse where none of the boxes have labels. Good luck finding anything. But the mature state, that's a slick, automated, perfectly organized system where you can find any resource and know exactly what it costs in a heartbeat. Okay, next pillar, cost allocation. This is a big one. This is where the blame game stops and real accountability starts. Because once you have those tags in place, you can take every single dollar of your cloud bill and assign it to the team, the project, the product that actually spent it. And the aha moment here is huge. The conversation completely shifts. It's no longer, why is the cloud bill so high? It becomes, okay, team, here's our budget. How can we deliver the most value with it? And again, the contrast is just stark. You go from these massive, mysterious cost buckets that are just labeled shared services, which is basically a black hole, to a world where you can actually say, it costs us 12 cents to serve one customer, or this transaction costs us $1. That level of detail, that's a total game changer for your entire business strategy. Pillar number 3 is cost forecasting. This is where you basically get a crystal ball for your cloud spend. And the real power here isn't just about not being surprised by the bill anymore. It's about fundamentally changing your relationship with the finance team. You stop being that tech team with the crazy, unpredictable budget, and you become a strategic partner who can walk into a meeting and say, here's what our innovation is going to cost, and here's why it's worth it.
Yeah, this is all about getting out of the business of guesswork. When you have a mature forecasting practice, you get this incredible confidence. You can actually tell the business, hey, if we launch this awesome new feature, we're forecasting it'll increase our cloud spend by X amount. That's powerful.
And that brings us to our last pillar, cost optimization. Now, we need to be super clear about something. This is not just about cutting costs. It's not slash and burn. Anybody can go around turning stuff off. This is about value engineering. A mature approach means efficiency is something you design for from the beginning, not something you panic about at the end of the month. It's about making every single dollar you spend work as hard as it possibly can. Just think about the difference in vibe, right? The immature state is that all-hands-on-deck panic, the fire drill that happens when the CFO sees the bill and freaks out. The mature state, it's calm. It's an ongoing, often automated process where your engineers feel empowered to constantly tweak and fine-tune the system to be as efficient as possible. No drama.
Okay, so you've done the work. You've built up these pillars, you've moved through the stages of maturity, you've finally escaped the maze, and you're standing at the summit. So what's the view like from up there? What's the actual payoff for all this effort?
This is it. This is why we do this. Your spending becomes predictable. No more surprises. You can literally draw a straight line from a line item on your cloud bill to the revenue it helps generate. Your engineering teams can move faster, not slower, because they're empowered with cost data. And all of this gives you a huge competitive edge because you can innovate with both speed and financial smarts. You end up building a culture where everyone from the newest engineer to the CEO feels a sense of ownership over the company's financial health.
So there you have it. We've laid out the entire map, all the way from that confusing maze to the strategic summit. Your roadmap officially starts right now. So I want you to think back to that self-assessment slide, back to those 4 pillars. What's your first step? What's the one tangible thing you're going to do to get started?